So as of today, patch number 4 has dropped on PUBG Xbox, and the patch notes make some pretty nice reading. The patch itself is described by the PUBG dev team as some quality of life fixes, some efforts to resolve known memory crashes, and incremental improvements to performance. What that means in real terms to you and I is a nice bunch of tweaks and a few little features that I think we're all going to enjoy. So the big one personally for me is addressed a number of known crashes. So there have been a lot of crashes going on in the game. We have noticed a lot, even on Xbox One X, since the previous patch, the first patch in the game. It seemed okay for us, but it got a lot worse after the second one. We found we were getting certain crashes at very specific locations where we could trigger them almost 100% of the time, and there were some random ones around throughout the game too. Hopefully this has improved those. I've played a couple of games today where I've run around the places where it always crashed for us before, particularly in the certain areas of the military base, and I haven't had any crashes today. I've only played 2 games, so we'll have to wait and see how that works in the long term, but so far, so good. Fingers crossed. The second major thing, that's probably the biggest thing for a lot of people, is they have introduced first-person servers, only for solo so far, but we now have first-person solo servers for NA region, EU and Oceanic. I'm sure duos and squads will be coming not too far down the future on PC. They've kind of gradually released these as time goes on, so I'm sure we'll see the same sort of thing. I know a lot of people prefer first person. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but now you have the option to do both. Another interesting tweak in this patch is that weapon damage against vehicles has been increased. Now, the over-the-top vehicle meta has been criticized a lot by players, and this is something they're trying to do in an effort to reduce it. They'd already reduced recoil on guns, which I think helped a bit. And now they've increased vehicle damage by guns. So personally, I think that wasn't really needed. I feel like it's pretty easy to blow up vehicles anyway. It's pretty easy to shoot people out of vehicles. I feel that people just don't have the confidence in their shooting at the moment to actually deal with it. The vehicles have not really been much of a problem for me and my squad mates. Someone comes in a Jeep, we just shoot them out of it or blow it up. But now that'll be even easier. So we'll have to see how it goes. This is all being balanced as the game is in beta. So we'll have to wait and see how it pans out in the long run. Another nice little tweak is that there is now adjustable aim acceleration. So aim acceleration is basically if you're trying to lead a target, you may have noticed that your cursor kind of gradually speeds up the more you move the stick. And that's aim acceleration, and a lot of people have been complaining about it and can make it quite hard to lead a target because it's very difficult to keep the cursor moving at a constant pace that'll match the pace of the target, right? So you can lead in front of them. It gets harder because your cursor kind of speeds up in front or slows down and drops behind them. Now that is an option in the settings where you can adjust that, and if you take it all the way down, there'll be no aim acceleration. It would be very raw, point it where it moves kind of to match the stick very accurately. I'm still trying to find a sweet spot on that. It felt very strange when I suddenly turned it completely off. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to prefer yet, but it's nice to have that option in there. Another nice little tweak that I'm sure you'll all be very happy for is that you can now turn the music on and off in the lobby. So if you're fed up with shouting at your teammates to ready up over the sound of that music that you've heard for the nth time, you can now turn it off. Another nice little tweak that is really going to help me out and help a lot of players out is that they've phrased it as analog stick acceleration added whilst exiting plane and whilst parachuting. But what that means is, because most people, certainly myself, run very low sensitivity settings, when you're in the plane and when you're parachuting, you try and look around in free look, and it's very slow to turn the camera because of your sensitivity settings. So what this means is that you can now look around much more quickly from the plane and whilst parachuting, which enables you to see where other people are going to land, obviously, which is very helpful. And I'd almost stopped doing it in a lot of situations because it was just so slow. It was making me screw up my jumps and that kind of thing. So, yep, definitely needed. Great little change. Very happy to see that in the game. The patch notes also say that there are a bunch of FPS increases, where it says server FPS slightly increased, client FPS slightly increased. It did feel a little bit smoother to me today, nothing crazy, but it felt like it ran pretty well on the One X when I was playing it earlier. Also said some VFX received slight optimizations and a few other little bits and bobs. So that covers all the major changes in today's patch notes. I'll put the link down to the full notes below. They're pretty brief reading, but I think that summarizes everything that you guys need to know. Let me know in the comments down below if you're still seeing any crashes. I'm really interested to know what sort of frequency of crashes people are going to see post-patch. That's the major thing for me, to be honest. If they can get that stability down, then I think we've come a long way and we're looking pretty positive. I've still been getting a bit of the rubber banding in busy areas. That's still happening. But if we can avoid crashes, then I think that's a major step in the right direction. Also, the little tweaks they put in are very nice ones that a lot of us have wanted. It'd be nice to see some other little changes coming in, like colorblind mode would be a useful addition, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. My name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.